What if humans lived twice as long? Imagine this. You're 50 years old, but instead of feeling like you're in the middle of your life, you're just getting started. You have another 50 years ahead of you, maybe even more. What if humans could live twice as long? What would our lives look like, and how would society change? The science behind longevity. Before diving into the consequences of living twice as long, let's understand how our bodies age, and whether it's even possible to live much longer. The biology of aging. Aging happens because, over time, our cells gradually lose their ability to repair themselves. DNA gets damaged, and cells stop regenerating as effectively. However, scientists are making progress in understanding how to slow down, or even reverse, these processes. Recent studies on telomeres, the protective caps on our DNA, and stem cells show that there's potential for extending life by promoting better cell regeneration and slowing down the aging process. Medical advances. Scientists are also working on advancements like gene therapy, regenerative medicine, and AI-assisted healthcare that could help prevent aging-related diseases and repair damaged tissues. These technologies could play a big role in making living longer more feasible. How would society change? If humans could live twice as long, society would change in several big ways. Let's explore what this could look like. Work and careers. If people lived to be 160, 200, or even longer, the way we work would change drastically. Longer careers. Imagine you start a career at 25, but now you have an entire 100-year work life ahead of you. People might change careers several times in their lifetime, or take breaks to explore new fields. This could lead to more diverse skill sets and a more adaptable workforce. Retirement age. The concept of retirement would be completely different. If you live longer, you might work well into your hundreds, and the idea of retiring at 65 could become obsolete. Governments and companies would need to rethink retirement plans, healthcare, and pensions to accommodate longer lifespans. Overcrowded job market. On the flip side, a longer life might mean fewer job opportunities for younger generations. If people don't retire until later in life, it could create a bottleneck in job markets, making it harder for younger people to find employment. Education and lifelong learning. With more years ahead of you, the value of education could change. Longer education. If we're going to live longer, people might spend more time in school, or take breaks throughout their lives to learn new skills or pursue new degrees. Education wouldn't just be something you do when you're young, it would be a lifelong pursuit, helping people adapt to the changing world. Shifting priorities. With more time, individuals might focus on personal growth, exploring hobbies and interests that they never had time for before. People would have the freedom to constantly reinvent themselves, pursuing new careers, passions, or creative endeavors. Relationships and family. A longer life would also reshape our personal relationships. New family dynamics. If people lived twice as long, the typical family structure would likely change. You might have multiple generations of living family members at the same time. Great-great-grandparents could still be around to share their wisdom with great-grandchildren, creating an incredibly rich family tree. Marriage and relationships. Relationships might evolve as well. People might wait longer to settle down, get married later, or even have multiple marriages over a lifetime. The concept of what it means to grow old together could change when growing old no longer seems so urgent. Health and well-being. A longer lifespan would come with health challenges. Aging without disease. The hope of longer life wouldn't just be to live longer, but to live well. We would need to develop better ways to prevent and treat age-related diseases like Alzheimer's, heart disease, and cancer. This could mean a longer, healthier life, but the quality of life would be just as important as the length. Healthcare strain. The longer people live, the more pressure there would be on healthcare systems. With a larger aging population, hospitals, caregivers, and the entire healthcare industry would have to adapt to meet the needs of older, longer-living individuals. Mental health. Living longer could bring new challenges to mental health. The idea of spending so many more years alive might lead to existential questions, loneliness, or depression. Mental wellness would need to be as prioritized as physical health, and society would need to address these emotional challenges. What would the environment look like? A world where humans live twice as long would also affect the planet in significant ways. Overpopulation. More people living longer means more people on Earth. If the birth rate doesn't decrease, this could lead to overpopulation, straining our resources, food, water, and energy. Overpopulation could also accelerate the effects of climate change, as more people consume more and generate more waste. Sustainability. We would need to find ways to sustain a larger, longer-living population. Advances in renewable energy, vertical farming, and sustainable living would likely become even more critical as society adapts to the challenges of supporting a growing population for longer. Generational changes. Longer life could also mean slower changes in society. If people live for hundreds of years, the older generations might be less inclined to embrace new technologies or social changes, leading to a generational divide. On the other hand, if people are constantly learning and adapting, they might be more willing to embrace change and innovation. The ethical dilemma: who gets to live longer? If humans could live twice as long, ethical questions would arise. Access to longevity. Would everyone have equal access to these life-extending technologies, or would they be reserved for the wealthy and privileged? If only certain people could afford the treatments that extend life, it could create even greater inequality between the rich and the poor. Overpopulation and resources. If the population grows and people live longer, how would we manage resources like food, water, and space? Would we need to explore space colonization or develop more sustainable ways to live on Earth? Decisions about resource management would become even more urgent. The value of life. If life is extended indefinitely, would we still value it as we do now? Would we take more risks or live more fully knowing that we have extra time? Or would we become complacent in the face of immortality? Conclusion: a world of possibilities. If humans lived twice as long, the world would change in ways we can't even fully predict. It would bring about new opportunities for personal growth, career development, and deeper relationships. But it would also create new challenges: healthcare concerns, overpopulation, and potential social divides. Ultimately, while living longer could provide more time to experience life, it would also require us to rethink many of our systems: education, work, healthcare, and the environment. How we adapt to these changes would determine whether living twice as long is a blessing or a curse. What do you think? If we could live twice as long, how would you want to spend your extra years? Let us know your thoughts.